I'll show you how comparers work by writing a comparer to allow food instances to be sorted by their names. So I'll create a new class. And since this is going to compare foods based on their names, I've called it Food Name Comparer. And I will have it implement iComparer of food. And I'll ask Visual Studio to implement the interface for me. And we have our compare method. So now I just need to replace the Visual Studio generated method stub with an actual implementation. Let's see what I've done. The main comparison work is here. I've called one of the string.compare methods to compare the names of the two arguments and return the result from that. However, before that, there's a little bit of additional logic to cover the possibility of either of the arguments being null. Recall the convention in .NET is that null equals null, so if both arguments are null, we must return 0 to indicate the two arguments are equal. You're also expected to follow a convention that null comes before any non-null object, and that means if the first argument is null, we return a negative number, and if the second argument is null, we return a positive number. Notice specifically this call to string.compare. I've not gone for the iComparableOfT interface method, which I know string implements. Rather, I've gone for the static method that I used in the previous module. That means I can explicitly state how I want the comparison to be done, which I think makes the code clearer. I've decided here that Food Name Comparer will do the comparison using the current culture and paying attention to the case. Having a static method also means I don't need extra logic to cope with the possibility of x.name being null. The string.compare method will deal with that itself, using basically the same logic as I've just put in for x itself being null. So now we have our comparer sorted. I just need to make one change to the main method. Remember, this code currently crashes because array.sort is being asked to sort the food instances, but it doesn't know how to compare them. So I need to pass a new instance of our comparer to array.sort. That tells array.sort to use that comparer to compare the foods. And now let's run the code. It's working now. The foods have been sorted by their names. And that shows you the reason why comparers are needed. They help out collections or anything else that needs to sort objects.